Good evening, Bully World. How's it going? It's good to see you back. Good to see you back again. At Christmas, I guess Christmas vacation for a lot of folks. A lot of folks, I guess, are still having to work, but I would imagine most people are still off through the weekend after having Christmas on Wednesday. So, hope it's been a great Christmas for you all. And New Year's Eve, New Year's Day coming up. I know we don't have much. We don't have much planned. Be lucky if I get. Be lucky if I escape the couch come New Year's Eve. We'll be in bed pretty early. I would imagine. So, but I hope everybody had a great Christmas, safe travels, and so on, and families all got along, and no great disagreements and that kind of thing. So, um, uh, wrong side. Let's see. So I can say, there we go. There we go. Got my little bully hoodie on. Um, Megan Francis and her company did that. I don't know. I guess it was probably last winter. Uh, I really like it. It's just got a neat little. Let's see. I got to show to you. Just a neat little. Says the American Bully, but it's just got like the skull type deal. So kind of cool. Kind of kind of unique. Um, didn't have time to really style the beard, so the beard's looking a little raggedy tonight, but it's all right. I had I got a good excuse for looking kind of raggedy, so I was out on the grill tonight, smoking some chicken breast, and we had dinner. Sat down to watch a movie. Didn't know the movie was going to run so long. Uh, it's actually a little over 2 hours long, so it kind of caught me off guard. What time it was when the movie was over. So y'all have to excuse me. I really didn't have time to get prettied up tonight, but I'm sure y'all I'm sure y'all don't mind that much. Um, so let me just kind of get this out of the way for those of you that were tuning in to watch my interview with Lance Lee of Blue Magic Bullies. Lance is not going to be here. Um, Apparently, he had a Christmas party that he was supposed to go to that he forgot about, which does not surprise me knowing Lance. But so he apologized. I apologized. So there won't be a Lance tonight. And those of you that know or may not know, Lance and I are in the BWO, the Bully World Order group, kennel group together. He's the president of the BWO, and so him and I have, close relationship. We're friends and so on, and but I wanted to have Lance on, obviously, being intimately involved, and him and I, we discuss breedings and strategies and things like that, all the time, and but I thought it would be good to have him on. That way, everybody else would get to maybe get to know Lance that doesn't know Lance. Let's see. Sorry about what's going on there, Rican Blues. Sorry. Uh, what's up, Adam? Yeah, Adam, you should be in the boot tonight. How come you're not in the boot, man? But so anyway, so no Lance. So um, we'll just kind of talk about what's up, Dollar Bill. um, we'll talk about some general stuff. Probably be a short night unless somebody wants to come on and talk about what they got going on and so on. I got a little bit of news. Tonight I got three females in heat right now. Uh, Dubtown Genesis is in heat. Dubtown Belladonna is in heat. It's her first. She's the 7-month-old female from this year's litter. She's in heat. And then Bully Blessed Haven, the co-owned female that we got, I guess about 6 weeks ago. I was told she wasn't due to come in heat till February. Good chance just came in heat, maybe because Jenny came in heat. But anyway, saw signs of blood today, so she's definitely in heat. She will be being bred on this cycle. So I guess we'll be running to the vet to do progesterone tests later on this next week. Those of you that don't know, Bully Blessed Haven, she's a real pretty little fawn, all edge dog, and will be bred to a similarly bred stud. I knew the name. Now I can't remember it. His name is Tank. He is a package. Visai VD, I believe, was his dad's name. Vinvidi, hell, something another. Visai Vinvidi, something like that. Direct line back to I know this direct line back to Santana's Heartbreaker. So some good old school blood there. So I guess that if I had to guess, 28. So that breeding is going to go down early part of January here. So, so probably early March, early March babies. Yeah, I know, Adam. Yeah, Rican Blues. Yeah, Bully Bless King Asher. This little female is a grand champion King Zion daughter. So yeah, Bully Bless blood, some good old blood. Sorry, Adam. Yeah, I know it's kind of late. It's kind of late for me too, to be honest. But I really wanted to come on at a time when there wasn't really anybody in the bully community doing anything. I kind of wanted to just kind of do a little fireside chat kind of thing. Uh, Not only that, I mean, I have my reasons for having it at 9 o'clock. Wife's already in bed, so if I stay up a little late talking about dogs, I'm not gonna be missed that much. So anyway, I picked Saturday night. No doubt. Matter of fact, I hadn't even thought about it. I know there's it's a good pro football game on right now. I should at least switch to it so I can watch it. And off and running, huh?
Yeah.
Well, don't work too hard.
I'll try.
Nah, it's just chilly out. So I guess jumping back to Christmas. Hope y'all got everything that you wanted. um, and didn't get coal in your stockings. Um, I got what I needed. I got some. I got some. For those of you that don't know what cabin socks are just kind of a double layer sock, for used for running around the house in your barefoot. Basically, they're just socks, but they got twin layers, right? I got a 3-pack Kansas City Chiefs cabin socks. Rock on, go Chiefs. But uh, I usually just want things that are going to keep me warm, right? Um, as you get older, especially obviously in the wintertime, you want to stay warm. So things to keep you warm, right? So I got some cool stuff. Very happy with Christmas. It was great. Of course, for me anymore, it's all about spending time with family, and that's that's really the important part. Um, just getting the family time, right? So just a second here. Let's take it so long. There we go. So at least have the Cardinals and the LA Rams up in the background. Yeah, Adam, I saw that. Y'all got some pretty rough storms down that way. I hope y'all stay safe and things go uneventful down there. Storms can get pretty rough down south this time of year for sure. Matter of fact, I saw before I come on here there was tornadoes down in Houston. So y'all keep an eye on those things. But anyway, so back here at the camp, we got 3 females in heat. Janie's expected to come in February. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if that holds true. But we'll dollar Bama also right on. So we'll see if we're definitely, hopefully, well, I say definitely, hopefully we're going to have some puppies around here this next year. Kind of been collecting, if you will. Haven't really had any puppies for sale for a while, but hopefully we'll have some things for sale this next year in 2025. So we're going to do 3 or 4 breedings this next year. So at least what's planned. So it's going to be a busy year. Hope it all goes well. And that's always the hope. That your females get pregnant and the puppies are healthy and everything goes well, right? So, so interesting thing that I just finished watching. Those of you know I've been on Raul's channel, QBN Network, fair amount in the last few months talking about genetics and stuff. And Raul has doing some work with Embark and doing some other research and identifying where on chromosome 18 to find the genes that are indicators for bone mass in your dogs. And then as with all genes, they typically don't tend to act alone. There are modifiers, little switches that either turn them on, turn them off, and allow them to to do their thing, right? And the same is true for these particular genes on chromosome 18 that determine whether your dog is going to have, you know, dense, heavy bone or not, right? And so Raul has spent a significant amount of time creating a gene map. It's a big chart that he's come up with to identify the other genes that serve as those on-off switches for the main genes on chromosome 18. And so I just finished listening to it today. Um, it's really pretty cool, pretty cool work. Uh, so if you haven't watched the episode, I would encourage you to go watch that. If you haven't embark tested your dogs, I would also encourage you to embark test your dogs. It's interesting, and I need to go back. I need to go back and look, but uh, Buster's chromosome 18, he is almost all homozygous on very heavy homozygous runs on chromosome 18, which in some ways would maybe make some sense, given that Buster is the size and has the big, heavy, thick bone that he does. Buster's really pretty boned up and everything, and so not surprising that he would have quite a bit of that. But I would even me. There's no point in me replicating or the research Raul's done. I will definitely reach out to Raul and send him Buster's information, have him kind of take a look at it, break it down. But encourage you to take a look at Raul's channel there and look for that episode and learn you something. So chromosome 18 is where the Frenchy fun lies. Chondrodystrophy. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Raul's a good dude, man. Adam, for sure. It's funny. And I never thought about YouTube or anything like that to talk about, my stuff. I started doing embark tests and doing the COI stuff, things like that, 3 years ago. I don't know exactly when Raul started, but for me, I just never. I mean, I just now got on YouTube, and um, you know, a lot of times I feel like I don't really have that much to to add to the conversation, which is one of the reasons why I was always hesitant to even think about starting anything. Buster stud fee is at 1,000, Adam, not 2,500. And for those of you that do not know, we received Buster's champion certificate on Christmas Eve day. So it was a nice little Christmas present to also get that official champion certificate. So now we have 3 champions. Your Buster's agent. We'll get busy then, Adam, because his daddy needs to put some money in the bank so he can reinvest in this program. So thanks, Freaking Blues, man. Appreciate it. Sorry, guys. I've been sick, man. I've had sinus crap, congestion, stuff like that. So still got this business going on. But anyway, yeah. Buster's at 1,000, but you know, I guess I look at 25. I think at 2,500, and uh, you're gonna have to be a grand champion if you're gonna get 2,500 from me. For the except to pay 2,500 to breed the foking sriracha, but if you guys know, uh, that's a little bit different story. Uh, Inbred Rocco, I locked that boy in sriracha when he was 10 months old when he first opened up. So uh, so that's the one exception. I'd pay 2,500 bucks. 2,500 bucks to a stud that's not a grand champion. So Dollar Bill wants to talk about some good old school blood to mix with the new. Dollar Bill, you talking about like specific examples of old school blood to mix with the new? Um, you mean by name, or just my opinion in general sense about um, the strategy itself? But so until you tell me what you're really thinking about there, Dollar Bill, oh, my opinion. Well, I think those of you guys that tune in and know me and have listened to me, um, I feel like the old blood, um, and again, I qualify old blood as anything pre-Dax, pre-Miyagi. That legacy blood, as I call it, is the key to these dogs maintaining some athleticism, some health, and just overall vitality and genetic diversity is really the centerpiece of what everything should be built around when we're trying to do this. But um, in my opinion, high percentage old school blood with a splash of the new stuff. Now, look, the new stuff is just the new stuff is the same stuff. Well, new stuff basically is Dax. Okay, but Dax changed the game. You know, I mean, you bring in an oldie. You know, you bring in old English bulldog blood, and you don't, and you hang the papers, and it's it's a different story. But it's hard to deny some of the good features that he brought, into the game. Um, but there's always a tendency of when things things are new or things are different, right? Um, Having more of it is the best thing to do. But the problem is, and I think a lot of people are starting to see this. The more Dax, Grim, Rocco, Brim, the more of that blood that they breed, smaller their dogs get. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why Rocco was so popular was he was a large, muscular dog, big headed, so on, right? Um, Standard dog, but Rocco was an outlier. The rest of those dogs, Rocco's mom was an exotic, uh, not a big dog at all. And so, Rocco was the outlier, to that breeding. And then Grim and Brim being even then smaller and producing predominantly pocket dogs. Rican, I think why Dax is considered new blood is Same way with Miyagi. Couple of reasons. They had a pretty profound impact on the look of the breed, a change, right, in the overall phenotype of the dog, and then also questionable parentage uh, based on their paperwork. All right, and so it's kind of like you need a way to compartmentalize that and put it off to the side, if you will. So, um, old blood versus new blood, not to say that the old blood didn't have paper hung dogs as well, because we know that they did. But if I were looking, and I mean, I do this. This is my overall strategy, for breeding American bullies, and that is high percentage old school blood with a splash of Dax slash Rocco slash Grim blood, right? Have incorporated, although, um, so John Wayne, Grand Champion John Wayne, blood is in my yard. If you go to John Wayne's mom's side, you go back, there's one across to Miyagi. Uh, and then my girl Maggie, she had one across to Miyagi. Um, so I guess you could say I got like a minor dash of Miyagi blood also, right? Um, but but what's happened is there are, if you look at a lot of today's pedigrees and the way that they're being bred, um, we're looking at 5, 6 times Grim, or Brim, in 4 generations, 3 generations. It's really being strongly lion bred, inbred, and I don't. It's just not a good thing. The inbreeding coefficients are too high. The dogs are getting smaller. They're going to breed themselves into a corner. They're going to find that if they're going to be able to save their programs, they're going to have to go to some outside blood, and I just choose not to do that. You guys know I do the modeling and everything. I make sure I model my breedings. I make sure I never get in trouble. And then I keep my percentages of DAX, um, you know, no more than, no more than 15%, you know, just not going, I'm just not going to go higher than that. Right. Where with what a lot of what's going on now is, they may be 85%, DAX, and post DAX, his direct lines, and bringing very little old school blood forward, you know. And so it's just, I don't think it's a winning strategy in the long term. I really don't. Adam, so what would I do to progress the XL class? So the XL class needs to get wider up front, and the headpiece needs to improve. Okay. Um, there's really only one way that you can do that, and that is to breed your existing XLs to standard males that possess those traits, the width and the headpiece. Um, so if I really wanted to change my XLs uh, pretty quickly, uh, I would find me a standard male around 18 inches tall, the nice width, good headpiece, heavy muscling. And not only would I, now, this is all predetermined based on both dogs being genetically tested and being clear. Okay. I would take my female to that dog, and then I would keep a couple females out of the litter. And then when they get old enough, then I take those females back to their daddy. Um, now, there's no way to know whether those dogs are going to turn out to be XLs. But as an XL breeder, it's kind of like me with really being a pocket breeder, but you never really know if those dogs are going to be pockets, or whether they're going to be standards. I mean, especially when I'm kind of shooting for that, between 15, 16 and a half inch height territory, right? When you kind of playing in there, you can end up on the taller end, and you can end up with a standard female or male versus a pocket. And as long as they're good dogs, I think if you're an XL breeder, I would focus on standards and XLs, right? Because again, until that dog is a couple years old, you're not really going to know if that dog is a standard or whether it's an XL, of course, unless it's already reached XL height before it's 2 years old. So a lot of things can change. I wouldn't really pigeonhole myself into just one class. I'd keep myself open to the option of also having standards as well. But that's what I would do. Is I would go back to the standards to try to improve the width, the frame, the heavier muscling, get away from the mastiff, and also that headpiece. That's what I would do. Cruise Critters, I'm with you. I prefer the old blood aesthetically as well. And let's see. So Rican Blue says his girl's Edge on the father's side, and on the mother's side is Edge with Dax in the 5th generation. And look, Hector, having one cross to Dax in 5 generations is so minor. It's almost not even worth considering, other than if out of that breeding, he really passed along his traits, and then those traits have been carried forward. Dog can be homozygous for particular traits, and those things can be fixed, and they can be carried forward through future generations for sure. But and this is the important part, guys. We're all going to have our preferences and how the blood that we like and what we want to breed. But as you go through your journey and you learn more, you've picked a dog, bought a dog, bred a dog, whatever. And you may find that the dog has blood a little less desirable than what you might want, but you still really like the dog, and that's the important part. But then, so what you do is you just, you breed away from that, right? And you push it further and further back, right, where it has less and less influence, and you bring in the blood, that you want, that you like. And you don't, if you got a really good dog, don't just throw them away because they got 1 or 2 crosses to a dog that that you may not like. You probably didn't know that when you bought the dog, and I've had that happen. And I'm just breeding away from it. Caleb Weddle is doing a great job improving the XLs. His dogs have great head pieces. Um, there you go, Adam. Tall standards, short XLs. Well, cruise critters. Um, a lot of the newer dogs, new blood, quote unquote dogs, um, are having issues with heart murmurs and airway issues. To be honest, are there bigger issues? A lot of these dogs are getting really short muzzles, which in the summertime leads to a lot easier to overheat because the air can't be cooled. Um, they're also a little bit more prone um, to anxiety, uh, like the bulldog is. See, and that's the thing, guys. There are certain traits the bulldog has that they brought in that are beneficial, but so many also that are not beneficial. And the mass is a great thing, but it comes with a whole host of other issues. And so, you have to. I think this is really. I don't think I know. It's really really important. Is you have to be real judicious in um, the selections that you make for breeding stock. And as those dogs grow and they mature, you have to be willing to and I said, when I say walk away, I mean in that you exclude the dog from your breeding program, you pet home the dog, whatever, right? But matter of fact, somebody asked me, I don't think it was yesterday, it was one of the last few days, about vet visits and things like that. If American Bullies, if didn't they have to go to the vet more often, and things like that. And I let them know that my dogs. I mean, other than their normal stuff, or unless there's been a fight or something like that, um, my dogs don't go to the vet. They don't have to go to the vet. We don't have skin issues, allergy issues. We don't have any other health issues. My dogs are all really, really healthy. Knock on wood. I haven't had any problems, and I don't have any issues with embark test results. I don't have issues with other things, and so. But what you don't want to do is one bad dog can wreck your program. So you got to be real judicious about what you allow into your breeding pool. And if it's a dog that doesn't fit, then you know you gotta move away from them, right? And so once a year for Uncle Sam, right? Yeah, you need to let Uncle Sam know the dog's still alive, right? So that's what we do once a year. Of course, the show dogs go more often because they have to have the kennel cough vaccination at least twice a year. So we do that, you know. But generally, I mean, other than progesterone test or things like that, I mean, as far as being sick, having any issues, my dogs never go to the vet. So hope y'all got your bourbon tonight. I got mine. So, but I think that Um, I Googled a question here. I don't know, maybe about 3 weeks ago or so, and asked, what was the single biggest issue facing purebred dogs today? And the answer is a lot of genetic diversity. And so, um, when you guys are putting your breedings together and you're making your plans, make sure that your breeding has enough genetic diversity. I'm not saying, uh, Adam, I'm drinking the same old stuff, man. Evan Williams Bottle and Bond 100 proof and ginger ale. How do we improve the genetic pool without overdoing it? Well, Dollar Bill, the answer to that is there's no fast way to go about it. Um, I think that, if you've got, let's just say you've got dogs that are, um, that are heavy Dax bred, or Rocco or Grim or, any of those dogs, right? Um, it's really not that hard to do. You just can't do it quickly, right? Take you about, my mind, take you about 6 years. I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, that's pretty quick, right? Um, we can't really do it um, as a whole, by the breed, with a kind of quote unquote global strategy. But what you can do is that, you change it at your level on your yard, right? And then, by conversations like these and bringing more awareness to the necessity of having better genetic diversity and a little bit more of a mix of the old blood, we can then thereby improve the overall genetics and increase the genetic diversity of the breed as a whole. But you go find you, 100% legacy blood dog. They're out there. You go breed to it. Take a female off of that, or two females, three females, whatever. You go find you another one. Okay. And you do the same thing for about 3 generations. And then, and here's the thing, there are people that do take, a dog that's, say, Grim or Colossal or whatever up top, but, old school on the bottom, right? Kind of a 50-50, right? And those dogs are really good, for splitting the fine hairs of things where, you're adding a little bit more of the old, but you're also bringing in a little bit more, of your new after 2 generations of breeding to old school dogs, right? And so, um, if you ever want to kind of see some of it, um, you know, get on Bullypedia and go look at, you know, some of Rob Lee's stuff with Bully Market, and look at some of the ways that he's bred. Rob uh, brought in some Dax blood through Phenom, here and there, and and then kind of stuck to his old stuff. He did some collaborations, with the Lounge, and with some Lounge blood, and and so on. But go look and see how he put those pedigrees together. But um, as you guys know, Buster has quite a bit of bistro bus blood in him. I'm definitely planning on working with Rob Lee in the future, uh, breeding to one of his boys for sure. Um, well, Cruz, it may not seem like it. Um, and again, that, you know, goes back to just the way the dog's bred. The way the dogs are being bred these days, right now, the majority of people know their dogs are not bred for longevity, um, and that's a shame. It is. So we've got to do our part to ensure that we're breeding dogs that are going to last at least 10 years. Um, I'm trying to think. Um, Robert Lee is going to be a blend of Edge and Gotti. Um, but I mean, these days, Robert Lee, he's been breeding for so long, 20, 25 years. I mean, Robert Lee's blood is basically now at this point, um, Robert Lee's blood is Robert Lee's blood. But yeah, it's all, I won't say all because he did bring in Phenom, which is a Dax son. But Robert Lee is a very, very, very high percentage of old school blood, bistro that came down through Homie. Um, I believe that there's some old Gotti blood in there, but I believe, guys, let's see. Hang on just a minute. You want to get, if you guys want to give me just, you guys want to give me just a sec. I can, I can log into Bullypedia here and I can tell you with a little bit more, um, with a little bit more. And we'll go to Bullypedia and there we go. Let's see. All right. So let's go see and look what bistro was. Okay. So the answer is yes, Bistro was an edge dog. Uh, Bistro's direct sire line goes back to Diego's doing big things, uh, who went back to short shot. So yeah, Bully Market is mostly edge with some old Gotti and like I said, a little bit of Dax through Phenom in there, but very very little. Um, but like I said, Rob Lee's been developing his program for 20, 25 years now. So, um, Adam, do you say, do I think the stud books are closed or open and why? The stud books are open. Um, the why is, I believe David, and he's mentioned this before, Dave Wilson still believes that there's um, needed genetic diversity in the breed uh, to sustain it for the next 75 years. And look, in some ways, I agree with him um, with the way people are breeding. Okay, um, if people were really um, doing COI analysis before they bred, then there wouldn't be a problem with genetic diversity in our breed, but they don't. Um, People mostly follow along with the popular sire syndrome, or in this case, uh, the Rocco Brim blood has gotten so popular that pretty much everybody's just breeding it, or golden child, right? I mean, or muscle tone, which is Dax blood. Um, so, uh, and that's the thing is so many people now, I mean, they're not even looking past the third generation when it comes time to breed, and they think that so they don't look in the fifth or sixth generation, and they think that because the dogs have um, different names, that they're not related. But then when you get to looking in the fifth and sixth generation, um, they're breeding all the same damn blood, and it's just a lack of either a lack of effort or a lack of knowledge on their part. Um, you can single register your dog, Adam. I just did it with our Frenchie because he was an AKC dog. You send a copy of the dog's pedigree from another registry, and you send in 3 pictures, front, side, and the rear. Um, and then they'll make the determination of whether or not they're going to register the dog. Now, if you're talking about a dog that does not, um, I mean, first of all, the dog's got to have some kind of pedigree. But there is a form on the ABKC website that you can go fill out to submit to single register your dog. But that's what they'll ask for is pedigree, front, rear, and side shots of the dog to identify the phenotype of the dog. So that's kind of how that works. And I think it's 35 bucks. So when you get a dog from another registry like a Frenchie and you want to show that dog ABKC, you have to single register your dog. Cruz, when you're saying do radiographs on your breeding dogs, um, for what reason? I'm not breeding Frenchies. Um, we co-own the Frenchie that we have. He's a male, um, and I mean, gets to that point, somebody wants to breed to him, you know, and we need to get him embark tested, but and checked out, things like that. But he'll just be offered. He'll just be offered at stud, but we're not going to. At least at least my plan is not for us to breed any Frenchies here. OFA type. So Adam, you're talking about bullies then, right? Only allows Blue Ribbon UKC to single register. I did not know that. um, Cruz, we'll see. We'll kind of see where he's at, but that's one of the things that, yeah, we do. Um, OFA, hips, elbows, basic cardiac. Uh, Buster just turned 2. Need to get him in and get his done. Uh, Everybody else here is still too young for such a thing. But yeah, you're always talking about bullies. Well, hey, you could be talking about something else, Adam, Frenchie or something. Yeah, I don't know. You know, but I feel like there's sufficient genetic diversity in our breed. It's just, people have to be willing to uh, think outside the box a little bit and don't. That's my pet peeve, and I guess I don't understand it. Is why does everybody have to breed? Um, and when I say everybody, I don't really mean everybody. It's not everybody. Um, but why do so many people have to just do what everybody else is doing? It's like there's no original thought. You know, I would be embarrassed in some ways if I built a program, on another person's coattails and built it just exactly the way that they did. You know, I mean, I'm not that way. I'm a little stubborn. I think I can achieve uh, great things doing things differently than the way other people are breeding through selecting good dogs and you know a, a little more knowledge. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if I've got what it takes to do that. But so far so good. Got 3 champions here on the camp. Um, None produced, so need to. That's the next big step. I foresee at least one produced champion this next year, possibly 2. Now, what happened, Adam? I thought it was 2,500. You're giving a $500 discount until the new year. That's funny. I'm gonna tell you what though. Video I saw of a couple of those females from his first litter. Boy, they definitely look like Buster. That big old head, short muzzle, heavy bone, big rib cage. Nice big chest drop. Some really nice looking pups. So I was real happy. They're now, I think, like 9 weeks old. So you really get 8, 9 weeks old. You really get a good look at them. Um, really, really pleased with how that headpiece of his seems to have come through. So I'm excited about that, especially since I'm using him this year. So gotta wait on Maisie, get a little bit older, and come in heat, and then we'll use Buster here on the yard. I was planning on using him back over the summer um, before Lily died, and so that kind of threw a wrench in our plans. So made us have to wait for any Buster babies around here. But such as it is, guys. You know, I really think the key to keeping the American Bully on track is reaching back and bringing some of that old blood forward, right? Um, and then bring it forward, and then go back to the new stuff. But replenish your genetics, right? Get some vigor in there. Get some of this old blood back into your pull some of this old blood back up, uh, into your dogs. Most people, it's so far back, it's not even making an impact anymore, uh, by and large, right? And so we have to, we gotta bring it back up into the front. And so, and maybe, and maybe you just do it once, right? And then go back to your new stuff. But you need to bring some of that old blood back into your programs. You're going to run into some problems, as time goes by. And, you know, if you need help, guys, reach out to me. Um, I'm happy to help. Yes, you guys know I do charge for the analysis, but it's great information to have, and it's very beneficial in my opinion. Um, and so, but I'm always available for conversations and try to help guide you in the right direction, that kind of thing. But let's increase our genetic diversity. Let's bring some of the old blood back up to the front, and let's work on increasing the lifespans and the overall health of these dogs. Now, remember, when don't forget though, and the headpiece is real important when you're selecting the old dogs. Okay, um, stay away from the terrier look. You got to find you an old school dog that's got a more modern headpiece. Need to have the blocky muzzle, 90-degree stop. Got to have the top skull. That's the biggest challenge you'll find um, in finding an old school dog with a modern headpiece. And look, I'll just say it. That's one of the things where Buster really shines, with being, uh, a 98% edge Gotti dog, right? Is he's got a modern headpiece, get big top skull, big head, 26 inches, 90-degree stop, big blocky muzzle, short muzzle, cheeks. I mean, his headpiece has got it all in a dog that carries 4 crosses to Dax. Um, Back fifth, sixth generation, right? Um, he's a lot of old blood up front. Uh, Sire line is all old Gotti edge stuff. Um, and What's up, sucker free? So I feel that's why Buster is so valuable. Is his old blood, but his heavy bone and modern headpiece. Um, but we'll see. I don't care if anybody ever uses him other than me. Obviously, one person has, and they've been pretty happy with the results. But if nobody else uses him, that's fine. I'm gonna build a program around him, and then I'm gonna be kicking a lot of people's ass, and you can count on that. But you know, I but when you go looking for the old blood, make sure that that headpiece fits, the modern standard, right? You got to make sure you have that top skull. Uh, it's okay. You can even have a little bit longer muzzle, but you gotta have the top skull, right? So, but bring some of that old blood into your programs. Now guys like me and Hector, we're already doing that, right? Uh, Me, I like me some Waffle House, right? And I like me some bistro. And my program is heavy in that blood. Top skull is extremely important, sucker free for sure. So you know, I think that's the key, guys. We can get it done. You know, my I feel like my big challenge is to take dogs that are more old school and put them out there in the show ring and have them compete and win. Um, so I mean, no joke. I found a stud that uh, and I'm breeding Janie too. That his movement is every bit as good as Hangman's. You know, what is the average lifespan? What's up, Eric? Average lifespan for a standard show bully. Went to my first bully show last night. Was BRC, but it was cool to see what kind of goes on. Um, I don't know, man. Standard show bully. What registry? You're gonna have different results for BRC, ABKC, ABR. Um, Shoot, brain freeze. Uh, a lot of these dogs right now, man, they're lucky if they can get 5 years out of them. Yeah, dollar bill. I mean, in some ways, I would agree with that, but I would try to. Obviously, I would try to get both at the same time. Um, but if you can't, uh, then headpiece, yeah. But the problem is if you can get you know, um, take you a little while to lock in that headpiece too. So, there are enough dogs out there where you can get. So, see, the thing is uh, back before Dax, you go back to a lot of the old dogs. The old dogs were big dogs. Um, there were a lot of dogs that were basically standard dogs and weighed 100 pounds. The problem is there's not that many people. There's not that many people breeding them anymore in those particular bloodlines. But those big dogs are out there, so you don't have to compromise headpiece and mass, right? Um, you just got to go find it. And I mean, I just said that. I mean, Buster's got the mass, the bone density, and the modern headpiece in a high percentage old school blood dog. But there are other 100% old school blood dogs out there that carry the headpiece and um, carry the mass as well. I would recommend not compromising. You don't want to lock yourself into, um, having to chase that mass. Get get both at the same time. And chances are, if they carry a quality headpiece, they're probably going to have some mass as well. Um, for sure, sucker free. Headpiece is the main factor to identifying the breed. So it definitely, but like most breeds, I mean, you're going to identify them based on what the head looks like. Adam, that's about right. My barbecue sauce, about $50 a bottle. I'll tell you what. Well, not a bottle, but it is. Let's see. It's about $75 a gallon. I made some here. No, $100 a gallon. I made some for my cousin here a while back. Um, he wanted 3 gallons, and and they love my barbecue sauce, and I don't blame them. It's pretty off the chain, but yeah, I mean, it was $100 a gallon. I used to be able to I used to sell that stuff um, before the pandemic for $40 a gallon. Okay, that's how much the ingredients have gone up. Um, so I don't make much barbecue sauce anymore. I don't cook as much as I used to because I don't sell my barbecue on the weekends anymore like I used to because I now raise dogs, breed dogs. Um, which is another reason why I also don't collect bourbons anymore, is because I spend all my money on dogs. So 16 ounces, $50. Nah, let's see. I don't know what that would come to. 16 ounces, probably, you know, probably do $10, 10, $12 for, you know, 16 ounces. The problem is I'm not just going to make 16 ounces, right? So, yeah, sucker free. That's exactly right. So I'm gonna put this up there because that is exactly right. There's more than enough quality American bullies out there. The community needs to stop chasing hyped up names and do some solid research on good quality bulls, and that's correct. So many people just chase a name, and you know one of the things that I do before I even, when I look at a dog is, does the dog fit my program? Does the genotype fit my program? Um, and, if you're going to be consistent in what you're producing, the genotype has to fit your program, right? And so that's important. But so many people these days do not spend uh, much time in deciding what to breed. I mean, you can see that on Facebook all the time. They'll post up their female, she's in heat. What you got? Show me what you got. And some ways I get that. It's a good way to maybe see some dogs that you haven't seen before. Um, but I have my studs picked out well in advance. I mean, if something happens, I have to back up and punt. That's one thing. But and that's why I don't have a lot of ask a lot of questions or things like that on Facebook. You don't see me talking about that stuff a lot because I've already I've already made those decisions. I've already done my research, and those decisions have been made. So, um, based on what my program needs and so on. And so, I but I plan well ahead, and I think everybody should. And you know, but you have people that are serious breeders, and you have people that are microwave breeders, just throwing some dogs together and trying to sell some dogs. So it's just kind of the difference. And you know, I mean, it's free country. You can do what you want. That's the hardest part. That's hard to stomach is you see people doing things uh, aren't right, aren't in the best interest of the dog. Uh, Not a way to build a program, but I mean it's not like you can stop them. Looking at 16 studs for 3 breedings. Well, that's a lot, Adam, but should be able to whittle the field down, I would think. Um, get your COI analysis. We'll probably weed out more than half of it. So, but well, I didn't figure that all at the same time, brother. Trust me, man. I'll tell you one of the what I think is one of the best ways. So I created uh, a folder on Facebook, right? And I just named it potential breeding studs or something like that. I think it's what it's called. And whenever I see somebody post a dog that that I really like, I will save that post in that folder, and then I'll go back to it later and I'll do a COI analysis on it. And then after I do it on that dog, if I like the results, then I'll model it to a couple of my dogs, see what the results are then, and so that's kind of how I do it. But I create a folder where I can save all those posts, and then I look at my potential studs, right? And then I'll go back to it and look at those posts several times. But I have all my breedings planned out, really. With every female, except still not settled on Sadie. She's the shortest and the stockiest of what I call the triplets from last year. But I already have the first breeding for Bella, who's the 7-month-old female from this year's litter. I already have her first breeding planned, and the stud locked down, right? So it's so I don't move around too much. Well, I already got my plan set, so but we'll see how those things work out. But yeah, thanks, Adam. I think I'm pretty good at it, but I don't charge 150 though. It's 100. I just think you're trying to make a commission, Adam. That's what I think. But if you can get me 150, I'll kick you back 25. How's that? I had somebody, Tone Roldan, referred somebody the other day, and sent me some pedigrees, and he had a mess. His male got to his female, it wasn't planned, and this and that, and he was kind of wanting to know how to get out of it, not that particular, but what to do, now that it's happened going forward and this and that. And me basically was looking for a breeding consult, right? And he was like, "Oh, well, I didn't know I was going to have to pay for it." And I'm like, I said, "My time's valuable." I said, it could take up to 5, 6, 7 hours to do one of these analysis. Not to mention the 30 minutes to an hour that I spend with everybody on the phone when I've completed their analysis and I've sent them their reports. And so I'm like, yeah, I charge, and then I never heard from him again. So, I used to be pretty nice about that stuff, and I was charging a lot less than what it was worth, and that kind of thing. And so it just takes too much time. And so, if I know you and I know that it's dogs that I already have in the database, that kind of thing, I'll cut you a deal, type deal. But, by and large, and that's the thing. And I had somebody explain it to me. He's like, look, you just charge $100, right? And, sometimes the ones that take 6, 7 hours are offset by the ones that only take you half an hour. And then again, the knowledge that you gain from the analysis is worth $100. If it can keep you from making the wrong breeding decision, you say that was worth $100 every day, all day, babe. I mean, I'm just saying it just is. If I wasn't doing it myself, then would I pay somebody? You bet your ass I would. What do y'all think about merles if properly health tested? Sucker free, here's my problem with merles. My battery's running low. What the hell? That battery be running low. It's not plugged in. There we go. No, that's what it was. My problem with the merles are this. They weren't around 15 years ago. Where the hell did they come from? Right? The merle was introduced into our breed, and look, I get that the stud book is open. My problem is that it wasn't disclosed, right? Wasn't a single registered dog. They weren't honest about it. They come in. We don't really know where the merle came from. Most likely Catahoula or Alapaha. But my issue with it is just that, and I don't know that there's I don't know enough about, since I've never embark tested a merle. I don't know what those test results would look like. I know that they're prone to deafness and blindness as time goes by. And that's my issue with it, is knowing that breeding to dogs with these patterns increases the risk of deafness and blindness, right? Why the hell would you ever do it? I don't get that. Now, merle's naturally occurring in Australia, Aussies, and other dogs, whatever. Okay, cool. But so many people have compromised the health of dogs simply because they think the merle is a cool color. Miss me with that shit. Can't stand that mentality. Don't like it, not one bit. Well, sucker free, just because it's been slid into the gene pool doesn't mean that you have to deal with it. I don't deal with it, and not going to deal with it. I might have to compete against it one day, and that's one thing I always tell anybody now, and I'll live by the same rules. If I don't like losing, then I just got to breed a better dog, right? So, I mean, that's the way I look at that. People want to breed merles, and the registry wants to allow those dogs to be shown. Not anything I can do about that, but they will never be in my program. And that's just how I feel about it. So, and I don't even know. I mean, you can do mandatory health testing. That doesn't still mean that that dog might not go blind or deaf in the future, right? So, I don't know that there's a way to really test to ensure that those things don't happen. But the merle with the genes that are at work, and I guess there's different links to there's a bunch of different variations of the merle. They all mean a little something differently. It's just not my it's not my area of expertise because it's not my area of interest whatsoever. I take Merle and I completely disregard it. Okay. Um, Same way with Frenchies, and you'll notice, right? So a lot of Frenchies being bred that are Merles, right? Okay. But you can't show a Merle Frenchie in AKC. And there are other colors that you cannot show Frenchies in AKC. Want to know why? Because when Frenchies were brought into the AKC, they stuck with and they stick with the original colors of the Frenchies, right? And so if you have a non-conforming color, you can't show your Frenchie in AKC. Our little guy, he's a AKC Frenchie. He's sable with black mask, standard Frenchie color. May not be as exciting. Sorry, guys. I lost my laptop. Um, Said the battery kept getting low, but it was plugged in, so I don't know. So now I'm on my phone. Not sure what's going on, but just have to kind of go on. Yes, second free. Only time will tell, man, on the issues with the Merle, for sure. Yeah, Adam. No, that was it's just my battery, man. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but try a try a different outlet. Maybe it's just not making a good connection, but but anyway, it's probably my sign that it's time to end this thing. Been going on about an hour and a half. So, but guys, I appreciate you guys coming on and sticking around. Hate that Lance couldn't be on tonight. We got a confirmation. Byron Hayes, um, I think, is going to be my guest for the next live. He is received an award at Nationals. Um, First part of the month when we were down there. Um, Byron is an OG man, going back, 20 plus years. Owned Armani. A lot of old school dogs. Had some good conversations with him. I really want to get to know him better. Um, and so I'm looking forward to being able to sit down with him and listen to his story. And he's talking about getting more involved, getting back involved with Bullies, kind of thing. And so I'm really looking forward to that. But guys, I really appreciate it. I know we really didn't cover a whole lot tonight. But I hope that maybe there was something that maybe something that you took from it that that you can use. But don't feel don't hesitate to reach out to me privately. If you need something, for something I can help with. um I don't mind answering questions, things like that. If you need any breeding analysis, it's going to cost you, but I mean, I'm happy to talk about other things. Even happy to spitball with you on things, that kind of thing. But so anyway, but with that, I'll say good night. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll have somebody else on here that can do some talking besides me. But again, guys, I really do appreciate the support. Y'all have a great night. Take care.